Hi everybody, we are back at it again with our tutorials so that we can go ahead and show you some of the different features on the HTML beta Chrome version of Rhetorica Plus Gradebooks. So today we're going to take a look at reports. So some of you may have done your reports in Silverlight, but I'll be showing you how to do your reports on Chrome. So the option is on the left here. So that's again one of the big differences between the Chrome versus Silverlight is that a lot of your functions are on the left-hand side. So we're going to go ahead and click Reports. You'll notice that there are different types of reports. There's student reports, which is what we'll be focusing on today. Attendance reports, which again is not typical for us. Class reports, we may take a peek at the gradebook spreadsheet and see what that looks like. And lastly, we've got skills. This is not something we tend to use here, but again, if you're interested, please feel free to poke around and see if that's something worth your while. The Excel I've used sometimes because I like to be able to print out what this screen essentially looks like. But again, there's some feature differences. So if you're not particularly comfortable with Excel, I should say, then this might not be one that you choose to play around with as much. But let's go ahead with the progress report. So this is pretty typical if you have an ed meeting that you're going to, or you're going to meet with a parent or a student, and you kind of want to have something for both of you to kind of focus on or look at. So I have a template that I created called Conference Reports. I can make some changes. I can create new templates. Again, a lot of those similar options, just as if you're looking at your gradebook with multiple templates, you can create multiple templates for progress reports. So looking here, I've got the list of students on the left-hand side. In the center, I have some customization options. So if I want the marking period, average, and grade, I like to have that. If you had any memos, you certainly can add those. We don't really do final exams here, or semester exams, so it's not really a necessary item for me to include. That's probably more appropriate at high school. The score column option are the actual grades, each of the individual assignments. So that's something I do want to include. I don't put in the notation for missing work. So since I don't put that in, I'll deselect that. Okay. Again, these are some other things that I could include. Subtotals, again, if you have things like homework or quizzes or tests, or classwork or projects, you might want to see what some of those averages are. The grade scale is literally the school's grade scale. So honestly, for me, I just tend to find that it's kind of just consuming space because knowing the range for, B plus to A minus or B minus to B is really all it's going to be showing you. It's not particular to the student. It's relatively generic. The header, well, on the first page, the name of the course, and then how you want it laid out, portrait or landscape. So not as many options as Edline. You can't change the font or the size or anything like that, but again, a fair enough amount of choice. Then you need to select your student. If you're printing a whole class report, you could hit select all, but if you just want to select one student, then you could just pick one student. And you'll notice what I did to deselect it is I just clicked it twice. And that allowed me just to select one student. So then I click Generate Report. It'll do its little magic. And then you can see that for this student, I have the average, I have the final grade, what it rounded up or down to, if that's the case and it's appropriate, and then all of the individual scores. Now this one does occur on 2 pages, so if I want to see the second page, I can see the breakdown again of the individual score columns, the categories, because remember I said that's something that I wanted to look at. One thing it does include are these possible points. So this is a total of all the possible points. So if you or the parent, particularly if the parent is confused, what does this mean? These were how many points the student earned. This was the cumulative number of points for that particular weighted category, and that's the average, as that's how it does the calculation. So from there, I would essentially typically print it, send it off to the printer, and I would be all set. Okay, so we're done.